Alright, hello and welcome to everybody. My guest is UFC fighter Herbert Burns, brother of famous Gilbert Durinho Burns, and a big shout out to Gilbert Durinho Burns for this interview. So Herbert, can you please talk a bit on yourself, bit on introduction, your achievements and so on?
I think you guys know I made my debut on the UFC a few weeks ago against Nate Landwehr. He was a M1 challenger title holder for the featherweight division. I made a huge statement on my first fight. It was a nice KO with a knee.
When did you start training MMA?
I started training MMA in 2011. I was teaching jiu-jitsu to some MMA fighters, and I even teach Gustafsson to his camp with Shogun, his fights on Shogun. I helped him a little bit on that camp. So I started all the time training, teaching jiu-jitsu to them, then I start training with them, then I start doing my own training, and I'm like, I think I might do well in this new career. Then the transition was natural, and I made my debut in 2012 in Brazil.
Yes?
I made my debut in 2012 in Brazil.
Ah, okay. So your basic fighting style is BJJ, right?
Definitely BJJ.
Yeah, but against Nate Landwehr we saw everything but BJJ, but okay. So, what is your greatest BJJ achievement in your whole BJJ career before you started your MMA run?
I was 2014 World No-Gi champion for the CBJJO. It's a Brazilian confederation. I'm four-time Brazilian national no-gi champion. I'm also American national no-gi champion. I'm a third place on Pan Ams. I'm a Pan Asia gi and no-gi champion. Asian Cup absolute champion. Last year won the Dallas Open absolute. It was my first absolute for BJJF. So yeah, I have many achievements. I was Brazilian nationals, several times, 4 times Brazilian national team champion. So yeah, I had a long career in BJJ.
Which is your favorite submission? Do you have one?
And my favorite submission is a triangle choke. I have 3 on MMA.
Oh, awesome. And do you have a favorite strike?
My favorite strike, beside the knee, that submitted Landwehr, is a straight right.
Straight right. Cool. So, why your moniker is the Blaze? Why the Blaze?
The Blaze is because my BJJ fights, they are very fast. In my first MMA fight, I was on the Blaze yet, because I got the nickname from my second fight. But my first fight was 23 seconds. I finished a triangle from the mount. So when I came to Asia, the gym I used to work for in one FC, they want a nickname, if they would be cool for nickname. So they came a few options. And I'm like, do something fire and fast, because my last name is Burns, I'm fast. And then they pick up, I didn't choose, they pick up the Blaze. So I like the nickname. Is a unique nickname. Nobody is the Blaze beside me in MMA, so I adopted.
Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I'll be honest towards you. I don't like my nickname, but fans gave it to me, and I was like, first time, oh no, second time, oh no, and the third time I said, all right, I accept it, fine, great.
For me, my name is a very unique name for a Brazilian. Herbert Burns it's not Brazilian name. So I'm like, no, my name is different enough. They're like, no, nickname will be cool. I'm like, all right then. Now I like, but at the start I was reluctant.
Yeah. So, can you talk about your first 2 professional fights? How did it go? Were you afraid of entering, when it's kind of big stress, a new sport, new competition, and go for it?
So the first fight, I came back from Singapore to Brazil. I had a contract for ONE FC, but I'd never fought on my first contract. Then I'm like, I'm just going to go back to BJJ a little bit more, compete a little bit more, and then 3 weeks to the fight, one of my friends called me, hey, we have an MMA fight here. This was like Thursday. He's like, Saturday, do you want to take a fight? I'm like, I'm not training really. He's like, no, take this fight. It'll be good for you. You have awesome jiu-jitsu. This guy is not very good on the ground. You're finishing quick. And I'm like, all right, let me train today and I'll let you know. What's your weight? It's like 165 pounds, 65 kg, 66 kg, featherweight. I'm like, all right. So I went to the gym. I weighed myself. I was kind of close. I was like 69. I kind of can make weight. After the trainer was 69. So I called him, yeah, I will take the fight. So I trained one day. The next day it was weigh-ins. The next day was fights. I fought, and it was the submission. I told you guys a little bit before. It was a good fight. The guy had a little fight. He didn't have a good record. Saulo Eduardo, so I finished him in 23 seconds. Then my second MMA fight was already for one championship. So I came back to Singapore, trained a little bit. It was another short notice. It was against Edward Kelly. I want to fight in 2013. I want to fight. I was training. And I got a fight. The fight got canceled. I'm like, all right, no fighting anymore. And then 5 days to the event, I could receive a call from ONE FC, and they're like, hey, you want to take this fight? Like, yeah, I want to take. So it was a little hard to make a weight, and Kelly was 5-0 at the time. His brother was like a former champion, I think. Yeah, was a former champion. And so I took the fight. It was everyone in the Philippines booing me. It was a crazy experience. It was like 15,000, stage was full. It was me going in, and then people are like, woo. I'm like, oh, those guys are just like the Brazilian fans. But yeah, it was another quick, fast fight. I got the finish in 44 seconds, this time with a rear naked choke. And then after that, all my fights was no more short notice until now.
Alright, can you make the difference between ONE FC and Western-based promotions? Which are the greatest differences, which are the lowest lows, which are the best things, and so on?
So, I think difference is like the way they judge the fights is very different. Like in ONE FC, One Championship now, they see the fight as a whole. It's like Pride used to do. You cannot win in round by round. You need always trying to finish the fight. So it can be very confusing if you're not used to the way they judge, but you need to look for the finish and create damage. If you do that, you're going to win the fight. If you're trying to hold and play cage and try to just take down and control, you might not win the fight because the opponent, like in the last round, you can be doing that for 2 rounds. Last minute, he creates a lot of damage. He should win the fight because that's the #1 criteria. And the fans are like, the Asian fans are very quiet. Like, you come here in the US to fight, the guys are drinking, the guys are talking a lot, and they're screaming. The Asian fans, you fight, you can hear everything. Everyone's quiet. If you escape a submission, people clap and they say, oh, he escaped a submission. They clap and then silence again. Very few people screaming. I think that's the most thing. The Asian fans, like, I had a very good time. I fought in Philippines twice. I fought in Malaysia twice. I fought in Indonesia. And so I really like the Asian fans. I would like to go back. Hopefully UFC will do a card there and I'll be able to fight for them again.
Who is the toughest ONE FC opponent you have ever met?
My toughest opponents? I will mention 2 opponents. I had a Japanese once. We fought in Dubai, Hiroshige Tanaka. He was southpaw. He came like, I think he was 6 knockouts in a row. He was Shoto, former title challenger. Hey, it was a tough fight. He went to the decision with him. Very tough. And he's still fighting now in Shoto. And the other opponent that's very tough, but I managed to secure a great win against him, was Timofey Nastyukin. He just, on his last fight, he finished Eddie Alvarez with a huge KO and managed to hurt Alvarez badly. So I think that's the my both of my toughest opponents.
I wanted to ask you one thing about Timofey Nastyukin. I've watched him many times, and I've seen that he has pretty much good submission defense, but it was pretty much useless against you.
He was very strong. I can't lie. Like the first two chokes that I sank, I said, "That's it. He's not going to escape," and he managed to defend the choke. But I managed, like, my legs are pretty long. I have very long limbs. So when I get the figure four, it's like, not say no one escapes, but like very, very few people can escape when I have the back control. So it was just a matter of me keep trying. And he was tired and a little bit frustrated. And I squeezed really hard the ribs there from the back. So I don't think he was in position to defend the choke after several tries. He was just like a little gassed and tired. So I managed to sink the choke. But he's a very good opponent. I think he's hurt at the moment, but I think he has a good chance to get the belt of ONE UFC and be the champion there for a while.
How did you defeat Honorio Banario?
Banario was another submission, also first round. I threw a front kick that landed to his chin. Then I managed to transition to a kind of jump guillotine and flip him over to an arm drag. I quickly went to the back and got another rear naked choke. Similar position that I finished Nastyukin, but we on the center of the cage. So Nastyukin used the cage a lot to try to get up. Banario couldn't do that. And Nastyukin's submission defense is slightly better than Banario.
Yeah, I believe so. Now let's take a look at your triangle armbar. You had two more finishes via triangle armbar, right?
Yes.
Can you take a look at those? Can you give a bit more of explanation? And I think it was Ibek Hursuit and Derek Miner. I don't know whether I read it wrong or bad, but I hope I read it well.
Yeah, it was those triangles finish that I have is all triangle armbar. My first fight was also triangle armbar against Saulo Eduardo.
Yes.
Then I finished Ibek Nusiak with a triangle from the armbar from the triangle, and then Derek Miner in the contender series. From Saulo Eduardo, I got from the mount, so I was on the mount, so throwing ground and pound, and from there I like a triangle, and then I finished the armbar from the triangle. Against Nusiak, I tried to take him down, he defended, he stuffed my takedown, he went to a single leg, and he managed to take me down. I was playing close guards and control the wrist, managed to get a triangle. He tried to slam me. I hold the slam with my elbow, and I got the armbar from the triangle. Against Miner, he tried to finish a last choke. I rolled to defend, and then from there I did a kind of a Granby roll and got him in a triangle, and then from the triangle I did the armbar. It was good finishes. I don't try to hurt my opponents, but I don't know, they kind of take long. So all the time I finish them the armbar, I kind of end up like hurting the arm. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's just a sport. So, like I interviewed some people until now, many say triangle armbar is strictly defensive submission. So you tried to go with triangle armbar as an offensive one. Is it hard to go as an offensive one with a triangle armbar?
It is not easy. I'm very active from the guards. The guys that you train for me, even my brother, they know how dangerous I am from the guards, so they try not to be on my guards. So they usually people are confident in ground and pound from close guard. The guys that are already training for me, they don't try. Because if they try to do that, I will catch them with something with a submission. Most of the time it's a triangle. If they start defending the triangle, I do omoplata and then I sweep, or from the omoplata I go to the leg lock, and then if I don't finish the leg lock, I manage to sweep or go back to my feet. So the guys that are mainly striker then on the gym here, they barely go to my guard. I end up on the bottom, they control a little bit, may try to kick my legs, and then they just give me space to get up. Because if you train jiu-jitsu there, and oh my God, they usually have a really hard time.
So you're trying to say that you prefer submission switch, right?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so. In your UFC debut, I've seen a very, very big change in your style because I watched you earlier and you were strictly BJJ, 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 some strikes. But in your UFC debut, you pretty much kind of reminded me on Gilbert in some segments of the fighting. So how did you change your fighting style so much? What did affect that big change? My brother and I bet on that fight, and I said Herbert is finishing via submission, and he said Nate is going to win. So nobody was right. You won, but.
But I've been working on my striking since the early stage of my career. Even before my debut, I was already training Muay Thai. But in few of my fights in ONE FC, I think they're both decisions that I went against Sarmiento and against Tanaka. I could show a little bit of my striking, but I think like my BJJ was so effective that I couldn't show my striking. And at the Contender Series, my striking didn't look that good. I watched the tape several times. Miner kind of pressed me against the cage and threw like wild punches. Some of the punches were landing. It was in an awkward situation there. So I decided to pull guard. So that's made people like underestimate my striking a lot, which didn't play well for Landwehr. But I've been working for Henry for several years now, and all the Robin von Roosmalen, Sean Soriano, then Marcus Johnson. Now working for a boxing coach a little bit more. Derek Santos, he trained several boxing world champions. So, like, I have a Muay Thai base, I have a kickboxing base, and now I'm working on my boxing base. So I have striking people, and I have a long reach, 74 inches reach. It's a lot for a featherweight. So I can use my reach. I have a good jab, good kicks, and good straight right, and good knees. So, but I will show them. I never had a hurry like to go there and show everyone all my abilities and all my skills on one fight. Because if you do that, you end up like being not careful and get caught in an exchange. So I try to place as the best of my abilities. My BJJ is very good. I believe in my BJJ. I can finish most of my fights doing BJJ. But if I have the chance, I'm always looking for the finish. If it's on the feet, if it's on the floor. The easiest way is on the floor, so I look for the easiest way. But if the fight has striking, I won't run away. I will exchange. I believe in my skills on the striking also.
Looking back at the fight against Nate Landwehr, you were in a pretty much bad spot. I'm not sure, I think you were pressed against the cage and you countered him with that knee. So how did you do that? It's very hard to counter off the cage. I mean, with a Superman punch, with a kick, it's okay, but it's very hard to counter with the knee when you're pressed against the cage. So how did you do that?
I knew that when we started the fight, I think after the few shots that I threw on him, like the jabs and the kicks, he changed his mentality. I think he always wanted to bang. And I think he came ready to bang. But I think he felt the power of my strikings and he kind of changed the strategy. When I had the opportunity, I took him down. And after that, we were clinching, like grappling clinch. And from the grappling clinch, I threw a knee, and I felt that he didn't like the knee. He didn't like the body shots, but he disengaged, and he didn't want to be in the long distance and not in super close. And his style is very wild style, which we did watch that and training for my last weeks with Kiman Diop. He's a glory fighter, kickboxing glory fighter. He's like, if he comes like this wild, you just throw the knee because you're going to land the knee. You have a good knee. You're going to catch him with the knee. I'm like, all right. And so when he starts his punches, he starts to move into my right side. I'm like, he's landing something, but it's nothing significant. I can see where he's coming. So he kept coming to my right side. I'm like, all right, this guy, it's like, if he comes too close, too high, I'm going to throw elbow. If he comes a little close, I'm going to throw knee. So when he threw the uppercut, he's kind of like, his head was very low. So I managed to get a Muay Thai clinch and throw the knee. I threw the knee into intention to hurt, but he was on the perfect spot, and then he was out. But he kept moving to my right side, so I'm just see the Muay Thai clinch as an option, and shoot the knee was on one, and he was out.
Could you give prediction on Gilbert versus Maia? Could you give some advices? I mean, staying off ground game and such things.
No, I think Gilbert have a good opportunity to take the. Maia is a great fighter, and he's very respectful. People in Brazil love him because he represents Jiu-Jitsu, I think, the best. He's like one of the few, very few one-dimensional fighters. Doesn't mean he doesn't have striking. He doesn't have a bad striking, but his main weapon is Jiu-Jitsu, and he fights. All his fights is Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu, or he wins by decision, he lost by decision. He never KO anyone. He never TKO anyone. And he doesn't look for those things. He always trying to finish. And I think Gilbert has a knockout power, one-punch knockout power that Maia doesn't have. Gilbert also has a better gas tank. The time that Maia fought like championship rounds of few fighters, like I remember he fought one of our training partners, Ryan LaFleur. He gas out. So I think Gilbert has a better tank, and Jiu-Jitsu, I think Jiu-Jitsu, Gilbert is better than Maia. He achieved way more in his Jiu-Jitsu career. Gilbert has like a very hard mindset that he wants to show all his skills, and he has a good striking. So lately he's been striking a lot. And I even said several times, hey, just take down and finish the fight. You can do that. You don't need to strike that much. Like, no. Yeah, I will do that. We set up a strategy and start the fight. He strikes a lot. Come on, just take the guy down and finish the fight. So I think the strategy now is to press Maia, don't let Maia try to. Gilbert need to throw the kicks, throw the punches, force Maia to take a bad shot. If Maia doesn't take a bad shot, Gilbert can press forward and take Maia down, try to TKO. Or try to submit Maia. I think he can engage. If Gilbert lands on top, I think Gilbert will finish Maia. If he gets on the bottom, or if Maia manages to get the back, then Maia can be a problem. I don't think Maia will finish, but Maia will hold Gilbert down, and then he can win by points, but I don't think that will happen. Maia, like for back control, Maia and I have a very similar game, so I'm backing on the training already, so next week it will be Gilbert and I will do a lot of back control escapes from my back control. And if he manages to escape from my back control, he should be able to survive or escape from Maia's control. But I think Gilbert's ready, and he's better than Maia everywhere, and I think he will finish the fight.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I just think if the fight remains standing, that Maia has no chances against Gilbert. That's just my thoughts. I believe he absolutely has no chances in the stand-up, but alright. Would you like to anything to add or to greet sponsors or?
I agree with you. I think if the fight's on the feet, Maia doesn't have a lot of chance, but he will try to take a bad shot, and then Gilbert can land on top, and then can finish him with a TKO. I want to thank you, Tatami Fightwear is my Fightwear sponsor. I want to send a shout out to everyone from Sun4 MMA and Burns BJJ and Combat Club at the gyms that I train here. And that's it. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the patience. We have a little bit setback earlier, but we're here and we did everything. And I hope you're happy for the interview, and hope the fans that will see and listen to this are happy as well.
No problem about this. I mean, such things can happen, and you know, I'm probably one of the rare guys who says MMA is not just a job, MMA is a life passion. So that's the difference between me and many other podcasters. But alright, thank you so much for taking part in it. Please greet your brother and hope to hear you all some other time. Thank you so much for taking part in this, and I will post this tomorrow.
Alright, definitely just send me the link and that's it.
No problem, I will share you via Instagram and Twitter. I hope you follow. Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, no problem. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Right.